And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault and it's Adrian Chenault. Hi, Adrian.
Hello, Father.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
What's it like to be 38?
It's, the latter mid-30s are really good.
You're almost 40 years old and you look 12.
Well, we got that going for us.
Right. And we are in the studio with who?
Who are we in the studio with, or who are we talking to?
Who are we talking to?
We're talking to the man,
the one and only,
Mr. Kody Bateman.
The father of 3 unbelievable kids, just an unbelievable guy. I was just on his unbelievable, podcast, and I loved it, called Promptings.
Well, that's unbelievable.
I know. I thought we would use that word a lot today. Hello, Kody. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you two guys? It's amazing you have a 38-year-old son. What does that make you?
71 years old and feeling it. Yeah. So yeah, it's really, really fun. We might as well go down that path right now. I've been blessed for the last 5 years of working side by side with this kid, and you've been doing the same thing with your little boy, and it's just worked like a charm, and he's running all your tech for you, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's a great joy to work side by side with your kids. They're much better versions of us, Tom, just so you know. I mean, they just bring smart to a whole new level, and it's just a lot of fun to try to hang on to what they're doing.
There's a massive amount of resentment in my family among the other 2 siblings that don't get to work with me every day because it's such a joy. And I wonder if Sawyer has the same problem with Bo and Whitney, because I know that you're always talking about Sawyer. We never hear about Whitney, even though she's unbelievably high up in the world as a spiritual healer.
Yeah, that's a good question. Sawyer's more kind of in the limelight because he's the head of IT and we're a technology-based company. So he's on screen a lot. He's talking a lot about new technologies, where Whitney's behind the scenes and Bo are behind the scenes. They all work for me, and they all do phenomenal work at senior level. And I don't know, they're just humble servants like the rest of us, and they're just trying to help the world act on promptings. They're really, all of them, my whole family is just very committed to the mission, which that's the biggest blessing of all.
What's so beautiful about that is so many people talk so highly about all 3 of your kids. They talk highly about your wife, Jody. Everybody loves the entire Bateman family. And even though you're kind of like the focal point, everybody understands that it's a family operation, and you guys are all going somewhere to go together to make the world a better place and actually maybe make a buck. But you care about people a whole lot more than you care about money. And that comes across loud and clear with the world watching you, which I love.
Well, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you shouting out for the family, because it really is a family cause. And it's just amazing to be working with them every single day. And, it is about the mission here. It really is. We are very genuine about helping the world act on their promptings. And we know the benefits of that. We know, there's genius in every human being that only they have. And you got to listen to your inner voice, those inner promptings, to bring that genius out. And that's all we're trying to do, is help people do that. I got to tell you, my kids, I mean, Whitney, let's just talk about Whitney for a second. She's such a visionary at a deeper level. Like you said, she's into spiritual healing. She's into all kinds of things. She's also, takes care of all of our events. She's our brand manager here. She just had her 4th baby, just had her 4th child. So she's on maternity leave. I don't know if I'm going to get her back from maternity leave. She's got 2 little girls. 17 months is one, and a newborn. So she's got 2 little girls under 18 months old. So she's got her hands full right now, plus 2 others.
She may never recover, man. We had them 19 months apart, and I still think my wife is in counseling. That's not an easy thing.
So you know what it's like.
Yeah,
they're going through that right now.
Did you forget to mention she's also an author, isn't she? She's
also an author. Yep. She wrote a book called Algorithm of Abundance. I mean, think about the title of that alone, The Algorithm of Abundance.
Pretty crazy.
And very, very deep level writing. I'll tell you what, it's just a blessing to have our children and our grandchildren. Now we got 10 grandkids, And I've talked about this on a couple of our podcast shows in the last couple of weeks, is just the miracle of these babies that come into the world, and to see the genius in these children. And they know their genius. A little baby knows their genius. And as a grandparent, you're able to witness that and see the perfect moments that those children bring out. I learn so much from these little kids every day, far more than I learn anywhere else. I learn from these kiddies. So
isn't that cool?
That is so cool. I wish so. This daggum StreamYard doesn't let you show who half the people are because of that goofy. You have to go sign it up. So whoever put that is brilliant, and it's true. You stole our logo, Kody. We had it first.
What happened?
They said that the logo of Promptings looks a heck of a lot like the logo of the Legacy Leadership Show.
Well, we might have gotten our inspiration. He's been around a lot. He's a lot older than I am.
Be in trouble.
And
don't sue.
We might have swiped it from them. But whatever it is, I am really happy to be in the logo foxhole with you. I'm actually very happy to be in the philosophy of a relationship foxhole with you, because you guys exemplify exactly what we stand for. You do it with cards. You do it with prompting. We do it with an app and an application called really forcing those promptings every day, which is the same thing. We want people to treat people like human beings, not like prospects, and have them feel special instead of a like or a perk. And what I love about what you're up to is every time I get something from any one of your people and I get a lot from people all over the United States, all over the world, it always makes me feel special and good, because that's how I want to feel. And that's how I want people to feel. And that's what, you wrote your first book prompting many years ago. And what you've done, the iterations of that have been amazing over the years. And you're just doing a beautiful job, Kody, of keeping that tradition going. And I love the fact that you've got it kind of all into a funnel now called Promptings, because that's what you are. That's what you're all about. That's what people know you for. And it's beautiful. So thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you noticing. And I've had you on. We've got a brand new Promptings podcast, and you are a dynamic guest for us on that show. And anybody following the contact mapping, we'd love to have you go see Tom on that show. He's just Tom being Tom, which is a great blessing to us all. So we're having fun. We're having a lot of fun sharing the message, for sure.
We threw out the scripted questions and we just went for it. And it was one heck of a show. And you know what? You have to fire your brain and hire your heart, everybody. People are so sick of the cornball, canned, pitches that are trained by literally everybody. And instead of that, find the unique thing about everybody that you meet and make a big deal of that, because you might not even love it, but they do, right?
That's exactly right. And finding that thing, what's the heartbeat of that person, right? Like what are the stories? What are the things that light them up? And how do you find that, right? How do you use that? And I love what Prompting stands for, and that whole process of just learning to follow that inner intuition and to let it lead you. We're hosting our first ever conference for contact mapping this weekend. And so Jason, who's actually the producer of the show, he and I went over there to do an AV check and a bunch of stuff today. And, we drove past a guy who is really special to me, it's his old house. He moved to Oklahoma during the pandemic, and we drove past his house, and, just taking that moment where we had a sidebar conversation about, wasn't Rick's house over there? And then to actually pick up the phone and call that person. And,
you called Rick Manellius?
Yeah.
Oh, how adorable is that? And I love him.
I do too. And just, don't let those little moments pass you by. Don't waste an excuse to call somebody and to see how they're doing. Cause you just, Kody, I'm sure you've seen this over and over again. You have no idea the eternal consequences that might be attached to that particular call or card or touch at that moment. Right.
Well, it's the power of human connection. And I think that's what we all need to focus on, especially in today's world. The world we live in today needs that more than ever before. Is we got to get out of our own way and make contact with other human beings, with humanity. We're in this game called life together. and we're supposed to be together, and we're supposed to work together. We're supposed to connect with each other. We're supposed to learn from each other. In fact, the biggest blessing, my opinion, the biggest blessing of humanity is diversity. And yet the whole world's trying to take diversity and take everybody apart. But the biggest blessing of life is diversity of humanity. It's people coming from different walks, different faiths, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different skin colors, etc. God made it that way. He brought us here that way. He wants us to come together. So what your guys are doing with contact mapping is so cool, because it allows you to do that. It allows you to listen. At the end of the day, there's three basic needs that human beings need. They have the need for food and water. They have the need for shelter and warmth, and they have a need to love and be loved. And there's nothing else. Everything else falls under those three things. And the need to love and be loved comes first. When a baby comes out of the womb, their need to be loved is bigger than their need for anything else, and their need to love. When a baby comes out of the womb, it's not just getting love from you, it's loving you. I mean, Adrian, you've got these new kitties, and you hold those babies are loving on you.
Yeah.
They come into the world that way. And so it's a basic human need to love and be loved. It's one of the three basic human needs. And your product allows people to focus on that, stay focused on who people are, their interests, their hobbies, and things of that nature. It's just beautiful. I love what you guys are doing. I'm excited for your event this weekend. I won't be there, but real excited. You're putting on your first contact mapping event, and good luck with that. I think you guys will kill it.
We're pretty doggone pumped about it. It's been a really interesting progression, and it's given us a real focus to the fact that what you've been doing your entire career is on the right track. And you can't train this thing in 5 minutes. It's got to become a movement. It's got to become a community. It's got to be something that people feel at their core that they want to make a difference. And you've done a really good job. It's called Prompting. It's still called Promptings.com. Have you changed the name lately?
I think we're going to stick with this one.
I like it a lot, but I had to say that because I'm so funny. But that's perfect. And I just love him. I got you, Adrian. And we're going to take a break. We're on the Genesis Communication Network. This guy named Ted Anderson has let us be on for 12 straight years doing this show, getting to talk to rock stars like Kody Bateman. I truly love him. And he's a motorcycle rider. He's a snowmobile man. His best friend's been with him since day one, this guy named Dave Smith, who is incredible too. I love his allegiance to people. We'll be back right after this.
Love it. And Dave's watching. Hey, Dave,
Dave
we love
is?
you. Yeah, he made sure to let me know that they had the logo first. So we got that settled. That's out of the way. Jordan's here. So
no,
we knew that. And he's coming hanging with us this
How
weekend.
about Sean Murphy?
Sean Murphy's in the house. Sean Murphy's the best. I'm so excited to see Sean Murphy. And he just did a big old event. He's got that whole.
Oh, yeah. Well, he bought the Ponderosa down there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, holy mackerel.
So, all right. We're coming back here in a second. Christina, Derek, thanks for sharing. You guys are awesome. And here we come.
And we're back. It's the Legacy Leadership Radio Show presented by Contact Mapping with Adrian and Tom Chenault. Notice us by the logo at the top, and you can also find that same logo over at promptings.com with our good friend Kody Bateman and Dave Smith and Jordan Adler and Callie Teagarden and my whole army of people I love over there. It is great to be alive, isn't it? I want to know how Promptings is such a great word. I'm shocked we didn't try to steal it. It is so totally cool. Talk about where that came from, how you came up with it, and why it's got such a vibration among the people in your company.
Well, I have a new ebook I just came out with called The Promptings Process. And in the very beginning, we kind of talk about, it's a unique word, and a lot of people don't hear it all the time. So they're like, that question comes up all the time. Where did the word promptings come from? So I kind of give a little description of that in the front of the book. There's definition of promptings. Promptings is a word that's used, it's used in the communication industry. It's used in the news industry, even to the point of they've built technology to prompt people. They call them teleprompters. So, my introduction to the word promptings came from my religious background. So the word promptings is used a lot in religious type of place. It's kind of a biblical word. Where in the Bible it talks about listening to the promptings of the Holy Spirit, and so it has a religious tone to it as well as it's used in the secular world. That's why a lot of people, if you Google promptings, a lot of we're going to come up before anybody. We kind of own that space, but a lot of religious type stuff will come up too. Preachers and pastors talking about following promptings. So.
It's so right on. And I just, that idea, because we all have this experience, right? And most of us don't act on it, or only rarely act on it, of, just something's on your heart. And so often that feeling, it feels like it came completely from left field. He's he's the true king. Like, most people have some percentage filter of percentage of promptings received, percentage of promptings acted on is not a perfect overlapping circle. So I'll have somebody pop in my mind at 3 a.m. and I'll write them down and call them not at 3 a.m. You will wake up at 3 a.m. and you'll call them at 3 a.m.
I hit send. I'm telling you, and they go, "Why did you call me?" I go, "Because God told me to."
Or, "Why did you answer?"
Oh yeah, and then they go, "Why are you calling me?" I go, "That's not the big question. The big question is, why did you answer?" Because I'm just telling you, how can you be mad at somebody that thinks about you at 3 o'clock in the morning? Yeah. I wish all you people called me at 3 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't be so lonely. I wouldn't be so miserable. I wouldn't be so alone. I'd be happier. Golly,
all right, that's it. I'm setting my alarm tonight. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try to call you at 2:30 in the morning.
Bring it on, baby. It's just hysterical.
And what will shock you is he will probably answer. He's just that guy.
Why not, man? That's what I want. I don't have enough friends. As I hit 71 years old, I also know that I'm getting a whole lot closer to the happy hunting ground, and I better make sure I have at least 6 friends left for pallbearers. So I'm telling you, I'm taking all calls. I can promise you that.
Except the applications.
Strong men.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And so, that joking aside though, right, there's something miraculous about those moments that come up, and there's no better feeling than that. And I feel like we stumbled into creating a company in contact mapping, and you creating the company you created that is cultivating this idea, right? That there's no more music to my ears than I make a phone call, or I send an encouraging message to somebody, or whatever it is. And there's something to the tune of, oh my word, like, you have no idea how much I needed to hear that today, or you were really on my mind, and it just blows me away that you reached out to me in this particular moment, or whatever it is. And what felt like such a tiny little effort from me or from you to take the time to express that and to act on it in the moment can create a bond that maybe lasts forever as a result of just that little thing. And I never knew how much how many of those opportunities I probably allowed to pass me by, never realizing what I was missing out on, because as I have learned to follow through on those and to listen to those intuitions, the frequency with which they come back around is just remarkable. So add to it, and then we got 30 seconds to break.
Okay, so you guys trust your intuition, trust the promptings. He's right. It comes straight out of a religious complete basis. And what you want to do is be that person that is so unabashedly vulnerable, authentic, real, and there for people that they can't even be with it. And the next thing you know, it is going to be better. And I promise you that. We're coming back right after this. It's the Legacy Leadership Radio Show with Tom Chenault, Adrian Chenault, without the beautiful Denise Chenault, who we wish was here. Have I mentioned my wife? 25
You're
years.
back on the island.
I'm back on the island. Oh my God. I must have said something like I was single or something accidentally or something. I don't even know what I said, of course, but my wife took umbrage to it because I must have said something like I instead of we. But all of you, trust me, my wife is the best and she is 99% of our success.
Yeah.
And we're back. It's Tom Chenault. It's the Legacy Leadership Show with Adrienne Chenault, Denise Chenault, Tom Chenault, and Kody Bateman. And we are here and we're on fire and life is good, right?
We absolutely are, and it absolutely is. And it's so fun, just watching. So for those of you listening on the radio, we're live here on Facebook and watching Dave Smith and Callie Teagarden and Jordan Adler and Gracie Dewar down in Australia and Corinne Love and all these amazing people, Ellen Lovelace saying hello and chiming in here is awesome. So thank you all so much for being here. And this is what it's all about, right? This is it. This is family. What we are doing and this world that we're creating and that interconnectedness that you're talking about, Kody, it's really, we're building one big family. And I really feel like in a time when you turn on the television and you would think that your neighbor hates you and is out to get you, that the truth could not be further from the truth. And this message that you guys are carrying forward in the world is something really important for that reason. So how do you see that playing out in your world, Kody?
Well, first of all, I just want to comment, and maybe this will answer the question. You mentioned those names. You mentioned the names of people that are listening in that are in my world. They're not just in my world, they're in my family. They are my family. When I hear each of the names that you mentioned, it sparks emotion. I mean, I get emotional because of the connection I have with each of those people you mentioned. And that's what it's all about. When these precious people come into our world, our Promptings world, they share who they are with the world with us. And we're all blessed to have them, and that's what life is. It's not what's on, it's not what you see on TV. It's not what you see out in the world every day. That's not real. That's not real. What's real is what we have here. And that's the big disconnect in the universe right now and in this world that we live in, is the whole world's living a lie. This whole hatred and division and all that kind of stuff, that is the lie. We're living what's real and what's meant to be. And we just we got to keep getting that message out there. And we just got to keep doing it.
All the experts out there train product knowledge. They train comp plan knowledge. They train systems. They train culture. And that's the end of it. And we start there. And what we train, not only Adrienne and I in contact mapping, but Kody Bateman in Promptings, is there's one level above it that's truly the only level, and that's community. The opposite of addiction is true human connection. The opposite of belonging is fitting in. So if you understand that, you understand that if you don't build a community of like-minded people that have the BLTSs with you, you're going to miss it. And the BLTs, that stands for belong, love, trust, safe. And what Kody's done that we've emulated is that the minute you get a card in the mail from any one of these people, you feel those BLTs and you feel like you're a part of a community of people that actually care about you versus you being a marketed soundbite. And I love that about you, Kody.
Well, I appreciate that. When I hear you say BLT, I'm thinking bacon, lettuce, tomato. I mean,
That's what it is.
I see up on the screen: belong, loved, trust, and safe. BLT, and you have safe on the screen too. Belong, love, and trust, and that is what it's all about. And that's what community does bring to us. And it's just really, really important. And listen, if you're in direct sales or you're in some kind of occupation where you're selling products and services every day, just remember that we live in an information world today. And we are bombarded with marketing information. I heard a thing the other day, and smart people do these studies. I heard a thing that says that the average amount of marketing messages we're exposed to every day is 3,000 to 5,000 images a day we're exposed to. And a lot of people will look at that and think, how is that even possible to be exposed 5,000 times a day with a marketing message? But think about it. Think about jumping on social media and you're scrolling through, you do whatever you do on there. In the matter of, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds, you're looking at several hundred different marketing messages that are out there. Now, why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because if you're out there selling products and services, that messaging is getting lost in the clutter of all the marketing messages. The only thing that brings people together is what Tom's talking about, is community. Community of like-minded people that are trying to be part of a mission, be part of something that's bigger than themselves. And that's what brings people together. That's what people are going to remember. So you said something, most companies start with product and service and unique selling proposition, this, and then they finally get to culture and community. Today's day and age, you better start with community, because that's where it's at.
And two things, and this is your show, and this is going to take a second. Number one, I sneaked you onto a big call that I do. I do 3 of the same calls in 3 different communities every day that are exactly the same. And they're all like the Seinfeld show. People come in there and I say nothing profound, but 70 people show up every day in these 3 different communities: Contact Mapping, Alcoholics Anonymous, and another motivational call I do, only because they're seen. And we are so unbelievably sick of being invisible that we'll do anything to be seen. Yeah. And I had this epiphany yesterday, and I asked Adrian if I could train it at the conference, and he said no. So I'm going to say it now. I'm never calling myself a network marketer again. Why? Because Kody just hit the nail on the head. You take a look at all the marketing things that we're getting hit with every day, and it's marketing by people that are so much better at marketing than you will ever be. Yep. That you're getting your ass kicked. But nobody can out-network you.
That's right.
Nobody can out-love you. Nobody can out-fire your brain, hire your heart you. Stop trying to be part of that and be part of that person that is the best you can be. Grab a picture off of somebody's Facebook wall, make a cornball, not a professional card, send it to them, and watch their heart be yours. That's what you guys do, right?
That's what we do. And again, we have the best people in the world that join our community, and there's incredible examples of doing that every day.
Yeah, 100%. So I hope I wasn't too crazy there.
No, it's the nail on the head. And it's the whole reason network marketing even exists is that they want to do the net marketing, and you're supposed to do the networking. You're supposed to be the one out there building relationships and doing that real authentic, building a relationship. And what I love about what you guys do, and one of your folks, April Brum, is a big part of our community. And I just, there's no better smile on the planet. There's no better accent I just could hang out in her orbit all day long, every day. And, she's just the best. But she was, it's all about love. It's all about, you don't have to do something different than what you're already doing for a living. You can keep being a whatever you are and just infuse that with real relationship. And that's what I think both of our missions are about, is how do we take that community building component and make it way easier, make it fun for you, and have you see how powerful it is.
And here's the deal. I think I'm pretty smart. I think I've been pretty successful. I think I'm pretty good looking. I think I'm pretty fun. People come to my house, and why do they come to my house? To see the beautiful house? No. They come to hop in the bathtub with me. They want to be part of something. That's the movie. They don't give a rat's about any of that. And the trouble is I'm not like exactly anorexic. So half the time we can't even fit in it. And we're going to need a winch to get everybody out next Sunday when they all come to our house. But I'm going to tell you one thing right now. It's because they feel a part of something. And we're going to go get a couple pictures. I'm going to show them to you. We got them all framed and now they're on the walls upstairs. And it's pretty doggone cool. But every one of you, and where did that come from? Send out cards. That came from the promptings.com concept of building something people can see and hold on to forever. It's amazing.
It really is.
I love you, Kody. What would they say?
I just had a moment imagining that you took a bathtub picture and then you decided to send a card, and there's the person who's watching these cards go down the thing, getting printed off, making sure that that there's no like major, there's got to be some sort of quality control about horrible things being sent to people on photos in the mail, and having to pull that one off and go, are we going to let this go? Or is that, I don't know if that's allowed
I keep getting letters from compliance. That's for sure. Yeah, it's awesome. Though. But, I just want people to know I love them and that they matter. And there's a way for me to do that. And that's put them in the tub with me. I want them to know that I'm going to go that extra mile with them. And that's exactly what you're able to do. And just grab, there's a woman on here named Ellen Lovelace, who I said I was the great rememberer. And so she figured out a song and rewrote the words to that song and sent it to me.
Wow.
Because she made me.
That's Ellen. That's
Ellen.
Yeah.
She's a maniac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason, if you would you go run upstairs and ask Carl or grab a couple of, there's some pictures up there that are printed. Would you bring a couple down? It is, it's just unbelievable. And this is it. That was, Ellen had her quirky, beautiful way to find a way to do something incredibly kind and memorable for you. And no, never in a million years could I have done that. Would I have thought to do that? Whatever it is. And each one of us has a different ability to be able to do something that is unique and special to our own capability. And so that's the whole name of the game.
So do we have a second for the break? Because I want to share something in regards to that. Let's take Ellen as an example. First of all, Ellen came to our world being Ellen. I mean, she's just an amazing human being who cares deeply about people. So she was born with these gifts that she has. But Ellen follows a system. Ellen sends cards every single day to people. And when she does that, it creates that appreciation energy in her life. And that appreciation energy comes back to Ellen. And what it does is when that energy comes back to Ellen, it nourishes who Ellen really is as a human being. So those natural gifts come out more and more, which compels her to be prompted to do something like she did for you with the song. It's being in the practice. If you send positivity out every day, it comes back to you and it nourishes who you really are, the genius that you are, so that you just keep putting more and more and better positive stuff out. So what you send out comes back, and you need to nourish yourself. So we're talking about connections. We always talk about connecting with others. We're always talking about connecting with others, but by connecting with others, you're connecting with yourself.
Amen.
And the connection with self is very, very important, especially today.
Okay, let's take a quick break, and we're going to come back for the final segment. But this is awesome, and we love you. And during the break, say hi to Jeff Roberti in the tub. Say hi to Paul Aikens in the tub. Say hi to Kathy Rickley in the tub. Say hi to, I don't even know, Greg somebody in the tub. I mean, I've got so many, and he just went and grabbed 4. He didn't look at the pictures. We got Richard Brook. We got everybody. And what I want you to do is come to Longmont and hop in the tub with me and take a picture. Because I'm telling you what, we're going to remember you and you're going to remember me, and it's going to be beautiful. Are we back?
We're going to come back in 20 seconds so that we'll just be 1 minute on the clock.
Okay.
So we got another 15 seconds. That is so. And Kathy Rickley, that was a good pull.
Yeah, he grabbed a Rickley. So the name of the game, everybody, Love like crazy, then love more. Fire your brain, hire your heart. You win. That's all it boils down to. Be a prompter. And we're back. It's Tom Chenault. It's the Legacy Leadership Radio Show with Adrian and Kody Bateman, one of my favorite guys with one of my favorite companies because they come from their heart, not their head. And I love that. So back to you.
Yeah, I love it too. And Kody, I want you to talk, so you wrote Promptings. It was the first book you ever wrote, right?
Yeah.
Promptings was your first book.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has kind of come full circle, and now the whole company is named after that theme, which I just think is beautiful. And you've released this new book called The Promptings Process. And so what is the Promptings Process, and how does that fit into the vision of what you guys are doing, what you've always done, and how that relates to this particular moment?
Well, if you were on my show, we'd put up on the screen right now the Promptings Process. I have a loop. It's an infinity loop, very much like your logo there. But on that infinity loop, it really defines what the Promptings Process is. And we have a mechanism in the middle. So imagine an infinity sign. There's a mechanism in the middle of the infinity sign. It's our card sending system. Okay. And the card sending system allows you to send appreciation energy out. How is energy sent out? Energy sent out through five primary ways energy is sent out. It's sent out through your thoughts, through your feelings, through your words, through your images, and through your actions or deeds. Thoughts, feelings, words, images, deeds. Now think about sending a card to somebody. You have a prompting, a thought that you need to say thank you to somebody. You put the feeling behind the thought and you put them into words. That's thoughts, feelings, words. A big key to this energy is the words. That's why we say when you send cards, don't cut and paste a message in, type the words. Come from your heart. Type the words. And people say, oh, well, people aren't going to do that. Well, then they're not our kind of people. Type the words one at a time. Tom and Adrian, thanks for having me on the show today. I love you guys. You mean so much to me. I'm going to type those words, or I'm going to voice them in the
I think I better send him a card.
Yeah, that's right.
There we go.
That's where the energy comes from. Thoughts and the feelings behind the thoughts, you put them into words, throw a couple of pictures on it, the images, and you push the send button, which is the deed. That is the mechanism that it takes care of all the 5 primary ways that you send energy out. And we do that every day as much as we possibly can. So when you send that energy out, that energy, like I said, comes back in and it nourishes your inner prompting. That's the left side of the loop. That's your inner voice that speaks to you. And when it does, you need to nourish it. You need to nourish that voice. You need to feed it with positivity. You need to do your affirmation and manifestation and meditation type of principles. But when you have an activated inner voice, all those techniques, personal development techniques, become so much easier because that voice is activated. The biggest challenge to personal development is people finding their voice. But if you're sending that voice out every day, it's naturally nourishing your inner voice. So imagine starting a personal development plan with your inner voice already activated. That's what the Promptings Process is. And we have an ebook, and it takes you through the whole thing. It takes you through all that, tells you the stories, tells you where Promptings came from, why it started, tells you how we learned this over an 18-year period of time. We taught this in over 300 seminars around the world. We learned something new at every single one of those. So it's been an evolution. It's been a process to learn all of this stuff. And now it's compacted into one book called The Promptings Process, with a lot of programs to help you to act on your promptings every day.
Where do we get the book?
So we have promptings.com we are a direct sales company, and it works through independent affiliates, and they have access to this book, and they send those links out to you. You can simply go to promptingsprocess.com and you can click the link. We encourage you to get with one of our affiliates, and they'll send you the link. And then they can be your coach and walk you through the process.
I'll bet I get about 500 of those.
You probably will.
Bang, bang. That's exciting.
And if you're listening, if you're with us on Facebook, look in the comments. There's some great people who said that they can show you how to do that, and you should check that out. Yeah. And it's a great book, and it's short and sweet, which is exactly what you want, right? It shows you what to do, and it shows you the piece behind it. And I think that I'm so glad that you took it in that direction with Ellen, who's just such a beautiful soul. And, you know, that self-nourishment piece is really special. And Ellen, I don't have a way to ask for your permission, so I'm going to do it anyway. And forgive me if I did something wrong here, but Ellen lost her husband recently, and she is just such a special person. And he was an incredibly impactful person in his own right. And also, I'm convinced that the absolute outpouring of love that came towards Ellen and towards their family through that is as much to do with Ellen as it was to do with her late husband. And that is the manifestation of all of that goodness that she has poured into the world for a really long time. And that's what we all want. That's who we want to be in the world. And so, Kody, thank you for being who you are. And if anybody ever had any question as to Kody's heart and his real belief in what he's doing, I think that they don't anymore, because you're all heart, man. And we love that. And so do go and find somebody from Promptings or send out cards to get your hands on the Promptings process. It's well worth it. This is Kody Bateman. It's been the Legacy Leadership Show with Adrian and Tom Chenault. Kody, thanks so much for being with us, man. It's been a really fun conversation.
Thanks for having me. I love hanging out with you guys. It's a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
You're the man. Thank you, Kody Bateman.
All right. We will see you next week. Do we know who we have next week?
No idea.
All right. Well, it's going to be fun no matter what. It always is on the Legacy Leadership Show. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
All right. Don't hang up.
Don't hang up. Kody, you were unbelievable. Now you are off the radio. You can cuss.
You guys are studs, man. You're studs. I love how you do the show. It's just so kicked back, and we're just chatting and having a good time. There's no pressure.
Yeah, this is it, man. It's the only time we spend together all week. So all of you,
he said, I'll take you. How about we spend an hour together for your birthday between 3 and 4 Mountain?
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks,
That's awesome.
So here's the deal, everybody. Ellen wrote this song, and then this guy that was the first African-American from a historically black university, whatever that thing is, HBSU or whatever it's called. HBCU is a guy named Nima Warfield. And
first to win a Rhodes Scholarship.
He won a Rhodes. He did something big, like Rhodes Scholar. So he and his girlfriend, Alex Pena, who he subsequently married, took Ellen's song and put it to music.
Wow.
And it is off the chain.
Wow.
And we will put that in the comments on Facebook. So those of you that lived through this show, Wendy Burkhart. Oh my God, I love her. I talked to her today.
That's good. I heard about that.
I know it. She was upset because on my computer monitor, I had F-U Wendy Burkhart, and she thought that was something horrible, but that's what everybody hates about the word follow up. And that was all it was follow up Wendy Burkhart instead of remember Wendy Burkhart. And I explained the distinction, and she loved it. But all of you out there, and her beautiful daughter, Harmony, and her husband, Jerry, did I talk about them at lunch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, it wasn't lunch. It was cupcakes for your birthday, Adrian. But Sue Brenchley, I invited her over for the contact mapping. It's not a convention. What's it called? Conference. Yeah. And she said she's all tied up doing something much more important. A mastermind with Michael Burnoff of all people. So good God, Burnoff. So anyway, all of you matter. Know you matter. And start showing people they matter, and they're going to realize you matter. That's all it boils down to. Kody, thank you.
Love you, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it so much. Best wishes this weekend. Our prayers and heart will be with you.
We'll report back. We'll see you later, man. Love you.
All right. Take care. We'll see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.